Winterset Football is on the air on the W Digital Network, powered by AHV Productions and sponsored by Farmers and Merchant State Bank, Winterset Dental, Whitney Messer-Schmidt with Edward Jones, Tiki Treats, Integrity Financial, Madison County Healthcare System, Agriland FS, The Sports Page Grill, Roush Collision and Restoration, McDonald's, Swanson Masonry, Suds and Pups Laundry and Dog Wash, the Pizza Ranch of Winterset, Jones Creek Apparel, Montross Pharmacy and Gift Shop, a Union State Bank, and the Husky Booster Club.
We've got a pair of 3-3 squads here tonight, as it is the Williamsburg Raiders taking on the Winterset Huskies. Hello and welcome in everybody to Winterset. My name's Evan Westling, joined alongside Jack Keller for tonight's matchup. And Jack, overall tonight should be a very fun one. Again, both these teams 3-3. They're both 1-1 in their district. Both teams coming off of a win. Obviously, only 3 weeks left in the regular season, and both these teams, a big game coming tonight.
Yeah, Williamsburg is 3-3, but I wouldn't look at that record to determine how good they are. They have beat both Nevada and DMC. Those are two of the best teams in this district that Winterset plays in. Tonight's going to be a really tough matchup for Winterset and kind of a measuring stick game after they blew out Knoxville last week.
Yeah, and just kind of looking, while we bring up the district, obviously the 6 teams here for Winterset and Williamsburg's district includes Des Moines Christian, Nevada, obviously Winterset and Williamsburg, Knoxville, and Sadell. So Williamsburg is set up really, really well. After tonight, they're going to end with Knoxville and Sadell, who are probably the two lower ends in terms of this district. So if they get out of tonight with a win, they're probably staring down the barrel of 6-3, which puts them in a very good spot come the postseason. And I kind of look at it from the Winterset side, and it's, to your point, a measuring stick of, I don't know if Winterset necessarily has kind of that signature win yet this season. If they get a win against this squad, I think you can definitely, check that box as, yes, a signature win for the Huskies.
Yeah, I think if you look at all the games that Winterset's played this year, you can look at it and think going into this game, should Winterset win this game or not? And it's kind of gone that way. They beat Creston and Knoxville. Like, these were games that they were supposed to win, but then their bigger games against like Adel and Van Meter, probably supposed to lose those games, and they lost those. So tonight's a true kind of toss-up in my eyes, and I think it's a really big game for them, obviously, going forward into the rest of district play. Yeah,
you brought up that Nevada squad, which is obviously a very talented football team. That is the team that Williamsburg beat last week, 26-18. The final there was their homecoming where they got their win. They're currently riding a 2-game winning streak. Winterset, on the flip side of that, lost by 9 themselves, 34-25. So that kind of gives you, just a look at where these two teams are at currently. You can argue Williamsburg does have a bit of a signature win, and a couple of them, winning two in a row against two of the top teams in the district. But taking a step back to kind of get a larger look at tonight's game, we'll start with the Husky offense, who last week was just unbelievable on the ground. It came from so many guys. Ben Porter, Wyatt Swanson, Jace Bellamy, the three that kind of really spearheaded that rushing attack. It's funny, we came into that game talking about, or you specifically, Jack, of, hey, I want to find a way to marry the run and the pass, get those things going, and it was Carson Cook threw the ball 6 times because he had no reason to throw it. But this feels like a night where maybe you were a week early on that, but talk to us a little bit again about, trying to marry those two concepts here tonight.
Yeah, obviously last week they ran it with Jace Bellamy, Ben Porter, even Wyatt Swanson. They ran it with all 3 of those guys, and it was just working so well. And obviously tonight, I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball that efficiently. You're going to have to use Carson Cook more, and he has looked good over the past few weeks. I think that tonight, like you said, is going to be huge when marrying that run and pass, because I'm sure Williamsburg is ready for the run.
Yeah, and when you talk about Carson Cook, before last week, so in the Nevada loss, it was a 3-touchdown performance for him, and he has 6 on the season. So he was going into last week's game, coming off of the best game of his high school career as a quarterback. And so you hope that even though it's kind of a week off of him playing quarterback, he had more carries than he did pass attempts, as he – actually, it was directly even. He had 6 pass attempts, 6 carries. But regardless, it does feel like, Winterset is going to try and use the ground game a lot. And like you said, Williamsburg probably ready for that. But, how big is it tonight if Winterset wants to win that it's going to be coming from Carson Cook?
Yeah, I think it's come from Carson Cook, and it's him getting the ball to those playmakers. I think that this year they could have done a better job of getting it shorter to Jace Bellamy and White Swanson. You've seen a lot of targeting them down the field, which I don't think is a problem. I think they're very good down the field receivers. But I think you run some shorter routes, maybe some bubble screens, something like that to get the ball to White Swanson and Jace Bellamy in the passing game along with the running game.
Kind of looking at some key statistics here for both the Winterset offense and this Williamsburg defense before we flip to the other side. Winterset averaging exactly 28 points per game, Williamsburg giving up 22 per contest. The thing that really sticks out about this defense, though, 45.5 tackles for loss and 10 sacks. So this is a team that has proven that they can cause negative plays, have those splash plays from a defensive front. How big is it for Winterset to just find a way to stay ahead of the sticks and not get knocked back by this defense?
Yeah, if we know Coach Sweeney, we know he wants to run the ball. If they get in 2nd and 12s, 3rd and 6s, I mean, it's going to be really tough to run the ball in that scenario. So obviously staying ahead of the sticks is going to be huge tonight, and especially sacks. I think if Carson Cook takes a sack on 1st or 2nd down, it's going to put this offense in a really tough spot.
Yeah, just looking at some key players for you guys to get to know for this Williamsburg side on the defensive line. Grady Weegan, 18.5 tackles on the season, 7 for loss and 2 sacks. That would be number 24 in white tonight. I got to watch on the defensive line, and they have an absolute luxury at linebacker. 3 incredible players. It starts with their Mike Dylan Weiskopf, 53 total tackles on the season. Sawyer Kirby, 31, and then Noah Banos, 29. Those 3 guys all super, super talented. And then they've got a very strong safety. It's a sophomore, Charlie Hoffman, 18.5 tackles for him. Then obviously for the Huskies, we've talked about this before, it's going to be Porter, Swanson, and Bellamy. Nothing changing there. But we'll go to the other side and look at this Williamsburg offense versus the Winterset defense. And big news tonight, their starting quarterback, sophomore Cash Brown, is not going to be active. So to the backup they go. That's Rogan Ackerman, who was their starter to begin their season before they quickly flipped to Cash Brown. So some early statistics on Ackerman. He has only attempted 22 passes on the season, 134 yards, 3 touchdowns to 1 interception. They're going to try to use him a lot as a runner, but it hasn't gone in a positive direction. 19 carries for negative 30 yards. So, Jack, just talk to me a little bit. What are the advantages of having a backup quarterback if you're this Winterset defense?
Yeah, I think you can send a lot more pressure. With a backup quarterback, they're going to have a little bit tougher time reading the field and reading it quickly. So I think Winterset can send some more pressure than they're used to, maybe blitz, maybe send 5 or 6 guys at the quarterback and kind of get away with that tonight, try to create those negative plays like they did so well last week.
Yeah, looking at running game, passing game for this Williamsburg offense, they're very even attacked, 154 yards per game through the air, 105 on the ground. Their starting tailback, Dallin Sullivan, leads the way with 264 yards. He's just under 5 yards per carry, so he has been a very solid back. In the passing game, it's going to be Cale Bailey, their ex-receiver, 20 catches, 329 yards at 16.5 per reception, and 2 touchdowns. He will be a handful to contain. One thing that was very interesting to watch on tape for this Williamsburg team is what they do with their offensive line. They love to run behind Malachi Williams and Griffin Becker, but they will rotate them. They're not stuck just playing left tackle and left guard. They move them to both sides to get some advantages, some bigger bodies. Malachi Williams, 6'1", 270. Griffin Becker, 6'4", 220. So keep an eye on those guys if they're active tonight. Those are guys that are probably going to move across the line. That's going to give them better looks in terms of the run game. But, Jack, I do want to tee you up about this Winterset defense. Obviously, Knoxville has had a tough season, but it did feel like this defense took a step forward, specifically on the defensive line and the negative plays they were able to force.
Yeah, I talked about that at the start of the week, last week, about how the defensive line needed to step up with some of the injuries, and Zach Cloak had a great game. I know he had I'm pretty sure he had 3 sacks last week. He was just a total game wrecker. I'm looking to see if he can build on that tonight.
Yeah, Cloak and Hetherington have kind of been the 2 that have stepped in that role after Line went down, and Cloak was big last week. Some key players on both sides of the ball. Obviously, we talked about Williamsburg offense. Defensively for Winterset, Cloak is going to be the main guy you're going to want to watch on the defensive line after that multi-sack performance. Solid linebacking core, Crew Hockett leading the way for them, 29 total tackles, 2.5 for loss, forced fumble, and a pick for Hockett. And then obviously the straw that stirs the drink for this defense, and you could argue maybe this entire team, is Jace Bellamy, a total Swiss Army knife, 72 tackles for him on the season, leads all of Class 3A. He's got 6 passes defended, 4 picks, a forced fumble, and then when you look at him offensively, Bellamy's got 200 yards. He's averaging just under 10 a carry, 5 touchdowns, and then he's got 7 catches, 147 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So he does it all on both sides of the ball, but I do want to focus defensively because while he's going to have an impact on both sides, it does feel like they're going to need him a ton tonight. Talk to the audience, Jack, a little bit about what he does both in the run game and in the pass game.
Yeah, so Jace Bellamy plays safety, and normally safeties are more pass defenders. They stay in the back, they limit the big plays. But what he does so well is in run defense. He comes pretty much all the way up, maybe 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he'll play super high up, trusting his athleticism that if they do pass it, he can get back. He'll play that high up so he can stop the run. That's why he leads the team in tackles. He's so dynamic as a run defender, but also as a playmaker on the defensive side, being able to get interceptions and negative plays.
And then last thing for you guys here in part of our big preview, again, the points per game on both sides is Husky defense giving up just under 30 points per game. Until last week, they had struggled causing negative plays. 22 tackles for loss and 8 sacks now on the season. A lot of that bolstered after last week's performance. One thing they are very good at, though, Jack, 12 turnovers, 7 picks, 5 fumbles recovered, I should say. And it does feel like that's an area that if you want to get a win here tonight, you're going to have a quarterback who hasn't played in a couple weeks after he lost his job to the sophomore Brown. Does feel like turnovers are a big area in this game. Yeah,
we have seen, especially against Nevada, the way that teams have targeted Winterset is through the air and those short passes. But with a backup quarterback, I think they're going to have a harder time doing that. So that could lead to more down the field passes and 3rd and 10s, 3rd and longs. So I think that an interception could be very likely in this game for Winterset and could be pivotal to them winning.
Absolutely. That's your big preview here early for Winterset versus Williamsburg. Again, both these teams 3-3, 1-1 in their district. So a huge swing game for both sides as Winterset looks to get over 500 for the first time this season in their first multi-game winning streak, whereas Williamsburg trying to stay hot. They've won 2 straight, trying to make it 3. We'll step aside for a little bit when we come back. The Winterset Husky Marching Band will be on the field. For now, you're watching Winterset football here on the W Digital Network.
Pizza Ranch in Winterset promises you a great experience. You'll find a buffet full of your favorite pizzas, the country's best chicken, or just come for dessert. They have party rooms available for your next family gathering or fundraising event. Craving a night in? Pizza Ranch delivers. Order online or call. Open Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. The Pizza Ranch at 1009 John Wayne Drive.
Montross Pharmacy has been offering fast, friendly, and professional service with familiar local faces you can trust since 1921. Locally owned and operated. At Montross, you get quick, reliable answers to your prescription and over-the-counter medication questions. They also have the healthcare supplies you need, as well as a gift shop and soda fountain. Conveniently located on the west side of the historic Winterset Square. Open Monday through Saturday.
At Madison County Healthcare System, you're not just another patient. You're part of our family. Our dedicated team of familiar faces is here to provide personalized care throughout your treatment journey. From family medicine to emergency care and more, we offer expert care close to home. Trust the faces you know for the care you need. Madison County Healthcare System, where every patient is family.
Jones Creek Apparel offers graphics and logo design, screen printing, embroidery, direct-to-film, and promotional products. Proud supporters of Winterset Athletics. They are happy to work with any organization or individual, regardless of the order size. Open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 9 a.m. to noon. Give them a call at 515-462-4132 or visit their website, jonescreekapparel.com. Jones Creek Apparel.
Integrity Financial Group is a financial services partnership with offices in central Iowa. Here you'll find expertise in insurance, accounting, and investments all under one roof. Their commitment is to help you make sound financial decisions and protect what matters today and into the future. CPA Ben Applegate, insurance agent Eric Johnson, and investment broker Jason Claymeyer are there to help you. Remember when retirement meant just stopping work and slowing down? Well, nowadays it's about so much more. Today's retirees are embracing newfound freedom and exploring new interests. Edward Jones Financial Advisors are here to help you identify your priorities and goals and create a plan to achieve them. Call Whitney Messer-Schmidt at 515-468-6200 to schedule an appointment today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At this time, we ask that you stand to honor our country for the singing of the national anthem by over 70 5th and 6th graders under the direction of Nate Houston. Callers this evening are being presented by the veterans of Winterset American Legion, Post 184.
AgriLand FS is a financially strong and dependable cooperative rooted in more than 90 years of experience with our eye on tomorrow. With 28 locations across southern Iowa and northwest Missouri, and from the field to your home and all points in between, you can trust AgriLand to be there when and where you need them. Call 515-462-5353 to learn more. AgriLand FS, where loyalty and integrity still means something.
We're really excited to announce the addition of our tow truck. In addition to our rental cars, this is going to give us a unique ability to serve you better. We're going to have the ability to take the phone call from you stranded on the side of the highway after a deer hit or a collision, with the potential to load a rental car up on the back of our truck, deliver it to you on site on the side of the highway, get you back on your way to work or to home, load your accident vehicle up, bring it back to the shop where we can handle your claim process from there.
The Sports Page Grill at 224 East Highway 92 in Winterset is the place to meet your friends before or after that big event. With a great menu, you'll find something you love. The Sports Page Grill can host or cater any special events you might have. Just call 515-462-4673. The Sports Page Grill. We'll see you there, and don't forget the Sports Page is the home of Husky Talk Live. Is your puppy in need of a little TLC? Bring them down to Suds and Pups for a complete spa treatment in the state-of-the-art pet wash. Located next to Straight Shots Golf Simulator at 215 North 1st Avenue in Winterset. And don't forget, attached to the dog wash is Winterset's newest laundromat, open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Stop by today.
Mr. Mike Morrison, Gerald Bohe, Mr. Jeff Bunting, Russ Dempster, and Sean Osterling. Thanks for being here.
Let's go, boys! Come on, boys! Come on! Come on, boys! Let's go!
Swanson's kick, returned by number 0, Albert Bramreck.
Tackle by Rivera. 1st and 10.
Claims his spot as the starting quarterback. Cash Brown suffered a
Number 7, Daniel Sullivan, the ball carrier. Tackled by 27, Drew Hockett. 2nd and 12.
So if that's something that they do, ready for the pass out of that.
tackle for a loss for this Husky defense. That is Banning alongside Bellamy. Great start for this Husky defense.
Yeah, right there, kind of like I talked about pregame. All of Winterset's defense is really tight. Their deepest player, Daxon Weeks, was about 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, as they were keen on the run there and just trusting that they were not able to pass the ball very efficiently. Now on a 3rd and 19, I would be kind of surprised if they let the quarterback throw the ball down the field, maybe draw a play here or a screen pass.
Number 2, Logan Ackerman, the ball carrier. Tackled by number 6, Wyatt Swanson. Going to bring up 4th down and 6.
Hey! 25, right here. Let's go! Let's go!
Right side will go down about the 22-yard line for the first and 10 for your Huskies.
There you go, Lo. That's it. Yeah, tip that. Let's go, Lo. Let's go. Well. Run well.
Short pass.
Let's go, offense!
Ball's incomplete.
Let's go, Let's go, Let's go, Let's go, offense! Let's go, let's go! Kale! Let's go, offense! Where's Kale? Right here. Come here, get ready to go for me for the blocking place. Some of them. Go. Let's go, offense!
Coach pass out to number 2, Weeks. Tackled by number 1, Gibson Scott. 3rd down and 5.
Let's go, offense! One offense! Yep. Alpha alert! Alpha alert! Let's go, offense! Go! Come on, offense!
Hey, left and right on Alpha. Let's go. Left and right. Go for the
Alpha!
Let's go.
4th and 3.
You ready to catch it, Bryce?
Hey, y'all, left and right.
Left. Punt will be out of bounds at about the 42-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Raiders.
Play, and they dump it down underneath to the tight end, who was dropped after a nice pickup there on 1st down. Weiskopf with the reception. Nice play call, so you show them the same exact look on the first play of the previous drive, and luckily for us, they didn't give up the play over the top.
Yeah, that's kind of what I talked about on their first Wildcat play. I said you can kind of use the passing game out of Wildcat to surprise the defense. They were able to pick up about 6 yards there. Just a really nice positive gain on first down for Williamsburg.
Whistle blown immediately on the snap. It's going to be a false start, so you can erase that 7-yard pickup. And they'll be in 2nd and 8 now. Still in that Wildcat formation with Sullivan. This time he'll take it straight up the middle. And hard to bring down. It's going to take a full body from the Huskies. And he gets basically that entire false start back.
3rd and 4.
Yeah, if Williamsburg's going to be running out of Wildcat a lot tonight, the key is to get him in 3rd and longs where they do have to get out of Wildcat. You can't really run that on a 3rd and long, but here on a 3rd and 4, they're likely in 4-down territory. They can keep going out of that same formation, run the ball. If they want to do a surprise pass, they can, but they're right where they want to be.
Third down and 3. Sullivan stumbles, evades, and it looks like he's got enough. Great contact balance there from Sullivan. That gives you the first down here of the game.
Yeah, it looks like Winterset could have tackled him and forced about a 4th and 2 where they likely would have gone for it. But like you said, great contact balance from Sullivan to stay up and pick up that first down. And if they're going to keep running Wildcat tonight, it's going to be tough for Winterset to stop. As we saw against Carlisle, they kind of had a tough time stopping when they just kind of ran the ball all the way up and down the field. So it's about taking advantage of the opportunities that present themselves for Winterset tonight.
Again, great field position after the bad punt from the Huskies. Wyatt Swanson has been good as the punter all season long. Struggled on that one. Setting up this Raider offense, and this time dropped immediately is Sullivan. And very interesting to see what they're doing here in terms of the offense for the Raiders. Again, I know no Cash Brown, but Ackerman, 64% completion percentage. Still a capable quarterback, so interesting to see that he's only taken 2 snaps here tonight.
Yeah, it is interesting because Ackerman, like you said, has played quarterback earlier this year for Williamsburg. Normally you don't see full-on Wildcat unless you don't have any other options, but they deem that this would be their best way to move the ball and put points on the board tonight.
Sullivan has touched the ball on every play of this drive so far. Won't be in the game here. This time they give it off to Weegan. Hurdles a man and eventually is dropped there by Porter. Got over top of Gurwell. Great job to rally by the Huskies. Quick conversation here between a couple of our officials. And it's going to draw a conversation for Coach Sweeney.
Yeah, this is exactly the situation that I said that Winterset wants to be in. You get them in a 3rd and 8. We saw earlier in that first drive, Ackerman didn't look too confident passing the ball. You have to take advantage of the situation.
3rd down and 8. Ackerman drops back. Pressure there from Banning. Flag thrown in the backfield. He hits his receiver. That's Bailey. But we'll see if this one is coming back. And it will. So the pressure from Trevor Banning causes the hold. And it will be 3rd and long. And the big thing there is, again, you're not going to have a ton of great legs here in high school football. Not going to have anything from the 30. More likely than not, as the long in the season for the kicker, Keegan Kendall, is 35 yards. So probably would have needed close to that first down marker to attempt a field goal. But now you're certainly out of that range. 3rd and 18. They're kind of in no man's land. So if they're able to pick up some of this, feels like they could be in 4-down territory.
For sure.
Ackerman drops back. It's a screen pass. Ackerman's not going to dump it off to Weegan, and he's dumped in the backfield. So another tackle for loss for this Husky defense, but the bigger issue here is Leo Kirkland on the ground here for Winterset. And he came through initially on that screen pass and was tripped up and fell to the ground and stayed on the ground the rest of the play. And obviously draws attention right away, and that'd be a big loss in multiple facets. Obviously the starting left tackle for this team alongside a guy that contributes on that defensive line. Will be 4th and 24 for this Williamsburg offense.
Feels like you got to punt it. If you're Williamsburg, you can't really. And going for it on a 4th and 24, pretty low rate there. So probably try to pin Winterset inside the 10.
I was to say just the position they're at in terms of the field. I mean, they're going to be at their 44-yard line of Winterset. If you don't get anything, that's incredible position for Winterset. Even if, you know, the change in field position is only 24 yards, if it ends up being a touchback, I still feel like you would do that at this level for sure.
Yeah.
Again, still the bigger concern is Kirkland, who is receiving some extended attention. Came up grabbing one of his knees. And his lower body being looked at. Needs some help to get to his feet. Good thing right now is that doesn't seem to be requiring any help to walk to the sideline. But certainly a bit of a limp there for Kirkland. Trying to stretch out his right leg a little bit. So we'll keep an eye on number 56, who slowly made his way to the sideline. Will be a punt here for the Raiders. Weiskopf, the punter here for this Williamsburg team. Weeks back deep, and a nice punt. Anytime you can get it less than that 20 yards, which is what a touchback can be, that's a definite win. Referee coming up, and it's like 16-yard line will be where this Winterset offense starts.
Yeah, I'd be guessing on this. Set it down for Winterset. They're going to be looking more to run the ball after their first drive. They showed the willingness to pass, and they went 3 and out, but I'm guessing they're going to get back to their roots, maybe go to wishbone and just pound the ball here to Ben Porter.
There is the wishbone on the first play, and it is to Porter on the first play. It's maybe a couple there on first down.
Number 10, Porter's ball carrier.
Yeah, one of the issues with going out of wishbone so much is there's really no threat for a downfield pass out of that formation. You saw in that last play, one of their middle linebackers came all the way down to the line of scrimmage and was able to just blow that play up. So a little bit of formation change could do Winterset a good.
Here's Bellamy, got past a couple of guys, squeaked through a hole, and he picks up the Huskies' first down of the ball game.
Yeah, you saw Winterset go with a different formation there and get the ball to Bellamy on the outside. That's exactly what you want to see, and that's where Jace Bellamy can be explosive. Is in open space, and he was able to pick up the first down.
11-yard pickup there for Bellamy. Last week, just 2 carries, but he made the most of them, 39 yards and a touchdown for Bellamy again. A lot of explosives. Porter had a hat trick, 7 carries, 107 yards, 15 yards per pop. And then Wyatt Swanson, 3 carries, 105 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But Winterset will be backed up here. A false start puts them behind the chains. And, you know, this is just kind of a general football thing. You never want to be behind the sticks and, you know, by any sort of the imagination. But in this type of game, when it's likely going to be a very tight contest between these two teams, getting behind the sticks is something you really don't want to do here tonight.
Yeah, and they were looking to use Wyatt Swanson on a wildcat right there, but because they're now on a 1st and 15, they can't use that, and they've already shown that look to Williamsburg tonight.
Handoff goes to Rivera, who gets up near the 35-yard line in that original line of scrimmage. So the false start is erased, but you're in 2nd and long. Might be 2nd and 9, but looks like it'll just be 2nd and 10.
2nd and 9.
Yeah, second and 9, 2nd and 10. These are tough play calls for an offensive coordinator. You can run the ball to try to get a shorter 3rd down, or you can try to pick up extra yards in the air.
There's that wildcat look for Swanson. Bounces it to the edge, tiptoeing down the sideline, but he did step out. He was tight roping, but he is called out just a little past the 40-yard line, and that will be enough for the 1st down. So they didn't get to do it on 1st down. They get to that look finally, and it works.
Yeah, we saw Wildcat with White Swanson last week, and normally out of Wildcat you try to run the ball at least like between the tackles. You don't normally try to get to the sideline like White Swanson did, and just like last week, he was able to pick up a huge gain on outside the numbers.
13-yard carry there for Swanson on 2nd and 9. So a pair of 1st downs here on this drive for the Huskies after going 3 and out on their opening possession of the ball game. 2.5 left to play in the 1st, 0-0 between a pair of 3-3 teams in Winterset and Williamsburg. Swanson takes the wildcat look once again, bounces it to the opposite side, and there he goes, showing off his speed. And gets close to the 1st down. A big run on 1st.
I mean, you can just see how quick Wyatt Swanson is. He's able to get to full speed in a blink of an eye, and that's why he's so good out of Wildcat, because you don't have a lot of time to get built up. But even right there, it didn't look like there was a big hole, and he was still able to pick up 8 yards.
The Huskies in Raider territory for the first time here today at the 49-yard line of the opposition. They do the pitch to Porter, who will get enough for the 1st down there on 2nd. So the drive continues for the Huskies, who have been very good on the ground. No pass attempts. It's been 2 carries for Porters, 2 for Swanson, 1 for Bellamy, and 1 for Rivera. So 4 different ball carriers and 3 first downs for this Husky offense.
Yeah, that's what I love to see out of Coach Sweeney. You have so many dynamic players that with the ball in their hands, you need to get it to them in every different way that you can. And he's used so many different ways with the option play there to get the ball to Porter. Just a great job by Coach Sweeney tonight.
Under center, there's a flag right away, and looks like it will be offsides there on the defense.
Defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
So now Winterset in a great spot with 1st and 5 coming up. They had a 2-yard carry to Porter on the first play of this drive since then. 11-yard carry for Bellamy, 6 for Rivera, 13 for Swanson, 8 for Swanson, and 8 for Porter. So they have been dominating this line of scrimmage battle here currently, and are working their way down with the rushing attack, and looks like they'll come out in wishbone here in 1st and 5 at the 36-yard line of Williamsburg. Cook drops back, looking down the field, puts one up for grabs. Bellamy tried to get it, unable to get there, and it will fall incomplete.
I really like that play call there. On 1st and 5, you can kind of get away with a deep shot, even on 1st down. And they went out of wishbone, but they had 2 receivers. Most of the time when they go to wishbone, they only have 1 receiver lined up. And Jace Bellamy got a one-on-one, and that was a pretty good pass from Carson Cook. He just wasn't able to come down with it. But you're still in the 2nd and 5 and likely 4-down territory. You've still got 3 downs to pick up 5 yards. And that's a really good situation for Winterset to be in.
For sure, and with how productive they've been on the ground here on this drive, like you said, it's not a bad thing to take a shot there on 1st and 5 when, to your point, likely have 3 plays to pick up 5 yards, which you feel probably very good about considering what they've done here on this drive. But a timeout will be called here by Winterset. 50 seconds left in the quarter, still a 0-0 ball game as the Huskies burn their first of 3 timeouts.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be Jace Bellamy out of Wildcat before that timeout was called. But since it was called by Coach Sweeney, I'm a little curious if he didn't like what he saw and he's going to go with Carson Cook at quarterback for this next play, or he just want to kind of regroup his guys and make sure that they know what they're doing on the 2nd and 5.
Seven-play drive going right now for Winterset. Started at their own 16-yard line. Last week was a dominant game on the ground. A lot of big-time runs. Had 4 or 5 carries that were over 40 yards, so they were popping some big ones. But tonight they're just as efficient and as productive, just not getting the huge runs. There is Bellamy and Wildcat, takes it to the near side. There he is. He's got a crease down the sideline. Bellamy, one guy gets to him, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Jace Bellamy.
I mean, you've seen it so much this year with Jace Bellamy. He's so good in every facet of the game. And right there, it didn't look like there was that much, but he found the hole, and he used the speed to get to the end zone. Jace Bellamy, just a complete game changer on offense and defense.
Just one pass attempt that entire drive, and it was on 1st and 5. Winterset was in the position to take a shot. Other than that, 7 runs. 2 to Porter, 2 to Bellamy, 2 to Swanson, 1 to Rivera, and it's capped off by Swanson from 36 yards. Pop pass, a fake there on the PAT. Did Swanson get to the pylon? He did.
That's a really creative job there by the Winterset coaching staff with Wyatt Swanson at kicker. I mean, you have so many different things you can do, and a little pop pass to him. The defense just isn't ready, but what a play by Wyatt Swanson to go through the contact and extend for that 2-point conversion, and a great start for Winterset.
It's an 8-play, 84-yard drive, 36-yard tote for Bellamy into the end zone, and then Wyatt Swanson for 2 on the fake PAT. And Winterset jumps out in front in a big bowl game here this evening by these two teams. Again, district opponents right now. Williamsburg at the top of the district, 2-0 with wins over Des Moines Christian and Nevada. Winterset at 1-1 as they have a loss to that Nevada squad, but then got their first district win last week, 56-15 over Knoxville. And as Jack and I mentioned early in the broadcast, Winterset looking for their first statement and really signature win here tonight against this Raider team. Kickoff comes from Swanson. It'll be caught, or really picked up a little by the 25, and a lane there for Sullivan. Makes one guy miss and eventually is dropped after getting into plus territory, but a flag thrown on the tackle. A face mask called there against, I believe it was a face mask.
Mm-hmm. I think it's only 5 yards in high school.
That's why I would be shocked.
The more you know.
There you go. Williamsburg, though, once again, great starting field position. They started at the Husky 41-yard line last drive, but actually went back 3 yards. Ended at the 44 despite getting a first down on their opening set of downs. But now they'll start at the 39, so about the same field position. We'll see if they make anything work with it this time around. There goes Weegan. He's down the sideline. Swanson trying to knock him out. He will, so he cuts off a touchdown, but a big run from Weegan to get this drive started.
Yeah, I think what you've seen from Williamsburg tonight, I don't know if Wildcats their best way to go. I mean, their quarterbacks look pretty confident. He's been on that third down play that got called back. He made a pretty nice throw, but right there to Weegan, just an explosive run. They've tried to get to the outside all night long and try to run away from Jace Bellamy, and that's put him in a really good spot here at the 3-yard line.
36-yard carry for Weegan. Bellamy had a 36-yard touchdown on that last run for Winterset. And now this Williamsburg team getting close to evening things here in this first quarter. 25 seconds left in the first under center. We're going to give it off to Sullivan and dropped in the backfield by Porter.
Yeah, great play right there from Ben Porter. Anytime you're inside the 5-yard line, you know under center a run's pretty likely, and Porter did a great job of diagnosing it and blowing that play up.
Loss of 2 there on 1st and goal. And Williamsburg will let this one roll to the end of quarter number 1. Your score, 8-0 in favor of Winterset after 1.
Swanson Masonry specializes in foundation replacement throughout central Iowa. If your foundation is damaged, their experienced team can safely and efficiently remove your existing foundation and construct a new one. While foundation replacement can be an extensive undertaking, Swanson Masonry has the skills necessary to get the job done right. Let them put their expertise to work for you. Give them a call at 515-210-3463.
Looking for a taste of paradise right here in Winterset, Iowa? Come chill at Tiki Treats Iowa, your local spot for Hawaiian-themed treats. Dive into creamy Dole soft serve, refresh with our tropical snow, sip on fresh squeezed lemonade, and snack on warm buttery pretzel bites. It's a tropical getaway, no plane ticket required. Swing by Tiki Treats Iowa today and treat yourself to a mini vacation in every bite.
Quarter number 2 about to get started here in Winterset. Score 8-0 in favor of the Huskies. Williamsburg's going to have the ball at the Husky 5-yard line. They had a 36-yard run from Grady Weegan on first down to get him set up at the 3-yard line. 2-yard tackle for loss from Ben Porter. Gets us to 2nd and goal from the 5. It's a pass and broken up there by Cale Hirsch. Pass intended for Cale Bailey, the top receiver on this Raider squad, and now will be 3rd and goal from the 5, but we do have a flag thrown, and looks like illegal formation is the call, so will not be accepted. Coach Sweeney declines, and it will be 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line.
Yeah, an interesting decision there from Coach Sweeney of whether to go with a 2nd and 10 or a 3rd and 5, and this is likely, I would assume that Williamsburg would go for it if they pick up any yards here. But I think I would also take the 3rd down. And on that last play, that was great coverage from Cale Hirsch. He made about as much contact as you can without being called for pass interference. Just textbook coverage on a slant when you're all alone.
Yeah. Sullivan to the right hip of Ackerman here on 3rd and goal. Man in motion, and it's a fumble. Ackerman is going to pick it up, and he is dropped in the backfield for a huge loss. Guess who? It's Zach Cloak who gets to him.
The key about that play was Winterset not allowing the ball to be thrown away. As if that ball was thrown away, they would have still been in field goal range. But right here, you said that their kicker's long was 35. It's going to be about a 37-yard field goal from the right hash. This is going to be a tough operation for Williamsburg.
Their kicker is number 11, Keegan Kendall. Do not see an 11 on the field right now, and Ackerman coming back on the field. So you're going to have 4th and goal from the 20-yard line. Now, I don't want to jinx anything if you're a Husky fan, but they did have a 27-yard kind of Hail Mary touchdown early in the game last week in the win over Nevada. It was caught by Stratton, number 4. Ackerman searching. He's past the line of scrimmage and just decides to take the carry. Interesting decision there from Ackerman. Probably would like to give your guys a chance. Instead, he just eats it, and it will be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, I mean, that's what a backup quarterback can do, is Ackerman just not really knowing the situation. There's even an interception in the end zone is going to be a touchback, and Winterset would get the ball at the 20-yard line. So I'm not too sure about what Ackerman was doing there, but a great job by Winterset, and even though they got a little lucky on that missed snap, just a great job to hold him after they had 1st and goal from the 3-yard line.
And going back, a huge play from Wyatt Swanson to chase down Weegan, push him out of bounds at the 3-yard line, and then a tackle for loss by Porter on the first play of the goal to go. Really derailed that drive before the fumble really killed it for Williamsburg.
Tackled by 20, Rice. Gives about 6 yards. 2nd and 4.
Handoff is going to go to Rivera, and he's got a hole. Winterset gashing another team on the ground here in consecutive weeks. Rivera with a big run down to the 45.
Yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of Nathan Rivera this year, but right there, he got an opportunity on a counter out of Wishbone. He did a great job of making the most out of it. He saw the hole, and he hit it hard all the way for, I think, like a 25, 30-yard gain. Puts Winterset in a great spot.
Go down as a 24-yard pickup there for Nathan Rivera. Handoff goes to Porter. He bounces it to the outside, makes his way upfield. Another positive gain on first down. So another week where we've talked about trying to get Carson Cook going and marry this pass to the run, but it might be another week where there's no reason to even throw the football.
Yeah, I mean, when you can vary their run game so much with Jace Bellamy and Wyatt Swanson, the passing game is not as important as just a normal run game. As they can go Wildcat like they are right here with Wyatt Swanson, they can do just so many different things.
Here is Swanson on the Wildcat look, and Williamsburg diagnosed that immediately and stopped him after a gain of 1, and that'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, clear 4-down territory right here for Winterset, and a lot of times we've seen Jace Bellamy get the ball at Wildcat, but he is on the sideline right here, likely a give to Ben Porter, just hoping that your big, strong back could pick up 2 yards.
Wishbone here on 3rd and 2. It's a fake. Cook in trouble trying to work his way upfield, and he's going to be spotted very close. Initial spot seems like he is short, and it's going to be 4th and about half a yard for a Winterset, and definitely a spot where you're going for it.
I'm a little confused what the play call it was there. I don't imagine that was the intended play with Carson Cook just looking kind of in the middle of nowhere right there. But on this 4th and short, this is clear QB sneak territory if you want to, or you can just give the ball to Ben Porter.
Still in that Wishbone. They can give it to Rivera or Porter. They're going to give it off to Porter and easily picks up the first down and more. Ben Porter still on his feet past the 30.
Yeah, great job by Ben Porter to keep the legs moving and get those extra yards, as Winterset's just done a great job of running the ball tonight. They haven't even, like you said, had to pass the ball outside of that first drive. I mean, they've just been running the ball nonstop. And just a great scene if you're Winterset to see how great that this run game has looked.
Rivera, 24-yard carry, Porter 17, and then Porter's also got solid runs of 7 and 6 yards. So this rushing attack for the Huskies wearing down on Williamsburg early. Jump ball opportunity for Swanson and batted around. He comes down with it, but he is out of play by the time he makes the catch. So an incompletion there on first down.
There's another formation where you had Jace Bellamy and Wyatt Swanson all alone out of Wishbone. Once again, I really like that play call. You throw it up for Wyatt Swanson and just trusting him as a playmaker. Another really good throw from Carson Cook. Swanson just not quite able to come down with that.
High formation here for the Huskies on 2nd and 10. Give it off to the back. That's Ben Porter. And he's dropped after small gain there on 2nd. It'll be 3rd and medium coming up.
Yeah, once again, we're just at kind of that no man's land. As we have seen Wyatt Swanson been able to kick it from around this range, but probably not something that you want to do if you're able to go for it on 4th down. I expect 3rd and 7, maybe go with another run, try to get this upcoming 4th down to be shorter.
Looking at about a 43-yard field goal from here. Swanson's long is 40. They give it off to Swanson. Design touch for him on a bit of a screen pass, and he picks up a bunch there on 3rd.
Very good play call there. Is the cornerback guarding Wyatt Swanson was pretty far off, and on a 3rd and 7, you can target that pretty easily. And just a great job by Wyatt Swanson to get upfield after that for the first down.
Seven-yard completion to Swanson.
Wildcat here to Jace Bellamy.
Bellamy takes a snap, coming towards the near side. And tackled after a gain of a few there on first down.
I don't believe that Winterset has shown much of a passing game out of their Wildcat for this season, so I'm curious with the increased usage of it early in this game, if maybe later in the game they look to having Jace Bellamy or Wyatt Swanson throw the ball at a Wildcat. I think that's something I'd be looking for if I was a Winterset fan.
Wishbone for the Huskies on second down. It goes to Porter. And nothing there for him on second, and you'll have another 3rd and long coming up.
Yeah, 3rd and long is always tough, but especially in the red zone. There's a flag thrown after the play.
We have offsetting personal fouls on teams. One for Williamsburg and one for Winterset. 3rd down.
So offsetting penalties after the play. We did not hear who they were on or what they were. But they were after the play, so it will stay put at 3rd down and 8 from the 17-yard line. The Huskies will come out in Wishbone. And trouble handling the snap is Cook. There's a flag thrown from behind. It looks like Williamsburg is able to get it. So a fumble on the snap from Cook. And the Raiders come away with it. Again, there was a flag, but likely on the Huskies, and it would be declined. So fumble in the red zone, killer for Winterset.
Yeah, obviously that's a huge fumble, especially when you're just going under center. That really can't happen, and you can understand a fumbled snap a little bit more out of shotgun, but if you're just handing it off to Carson Cook, you've got to be able to get that ball. So the silver lining here is that Williamsburg's going to have to go the whole length of the field, and they only have 5 minutes to do so, which is a lot of time, but not enough to just slowly drive down the field.
Winterset started that possession at the their own 15-yard line, and had an incredible drive, but ends in the fumble there. They went 12 plays, the majority of that on the ground. Was looking to get up 2 scores just before the break. Instead, a very costly fumble keeps things put at 8-0 for now.
Yeah, Winterset will get the ball out of halftime. So, I mean, if you stop them here, you're still in a really good position to win this game, even after the fumble.
Ackerman rolling to the near side. Slings it toward the boundary, and it is caught there by Bailey. And I think a conversation from the quarterback Ackerman asking if that was a late hit.
It looked to me like the receiver was fully out of bounds when Wyatt Swanson hit him. I am surprised that a flag did not get thrown there, but Ackerman has looked good on the run. We've seen Williamsburg try to get him running the ball, and even when he hasn't, he's ran the ball just kind of on his own. But right there, that's a good throw between a couple of defenders. So Ackerman has shown the ability to throw the ball more than someone that's getting a Wildcat quarterback for him most of the time.
And now quick whistle. And timeout called there. 4:21 remaining in the half. And Williamsburg, I mean, really both teams kind of have had points wiped off the board from their own mistakes. You've had, obviously, we'll go back to Williamsburg, who it wasn't a long drive, 5 plays. They started in plus territory at the Husky 39, had that big run from Weegan on first down, 36 yards to get into the 3. Porter a tackle for loss, then he had an incompletion along with a sack. And then the sack was the result of a bad snap, and then forced a turnover on downs on the following play where Ackerman just kind of ate it. And that was points off the board from, I mean, really, it was a fumble. You know, it was a fumbled snap or a botched snap, and then Winterset in a position to get points, and they have that loss on a fumble. So I guess both teams even in that regard, and certainly both teams probably kicking themselves for it.
Yeah. Still puts Williamsburg in a tough spot here, having to go 75 yards in 4 minutes when they haven't shown the ability to throw the ball down the field all game.
Ackerman eyeing his receiver. Downfield, jump ball is caught. An incredible catch by Albert Bamrick. Couldn't really defend that any better. You'll get a second look here.
Yeah, I mean, just a total jump ball right there, and a good play by the receiver to get in good position. Is like you said, there's not a lot that Judah Gurwell could do right there. The wide receiver just got in really good position, and that's a huge chunk play for Williamsburg.
In plus territory now. Sullivan takes the handoff and picks up a couple there on first down.
Number 7, Sullivan, the ball carrier, tackled by 11, Cooper Johnson.
Now with that big play, that gives Williamsburg kind of the luxury to call whatever they want on offense. You would figure that they would be able to get the ball in the end zone in this 3.5 minutes that they have left and kind of run whatever they want. They won't be restricted to just majority pass plays like they were if they were at the 30-yard line.
Hand off to Sullivan again. Gets another productive run there on second.
Yeah, likely 4-down territory for Williamsburg. Is they're in a 3rd and 2. I would imagine probably another run here, unless they want to take a shot play, because you could and then rely on the running game on 4th and 2. And you can just watch this clock. It's kind of running down a little bit more as they're taking the full time for this big third down.
Guys, let's go for two. Come on, D! Come on, D! Go, D! White pass! Run! Yeah.
Sullivan tackled near the line to gain. And it looks like the initial call will be short, just barely.
Tackling the line of the Huskies.
Once again, about 4th and half a yard. Winterset had one of those, and they picked it up on a Ben Porter carry, but we will have a measurement here.
He seemed pretty short based on where the marker was.
And he is just short, less than half a yard probably. 4th and inches. 2:17 left to go here in this first half. Big spot for both sides. Raiders trying to put points on the board before the break, with the Huskies getting it coming out of halftime.
Maybe a sneak here.
Ackerman does do a sneak, and he will get it there on 4th and inches. Winterset signaling that something that they were short.
Wasn't exactly that close, but they were pretty confident. Kind of like a fumble where both teams are pointing towards their side. I'm kind of surprised here. Williamsburg's taking a lot of time off the clock. They're going just a full huddle on between every play here. Now they kind of got to watch it as they try to punch this ball in.
Both teams with 2 timeouts. A carry there for Weegan. Finds a crease. And gets another good gain on first down. Down to 1.5 minutes. Again, 2 timeouts here for the Raiders. They've already used 1 on this possession.
Tackled by 20. Close. 2nd and 4.
6-yard pickup for Weegan. And officially trending towards 115. Again, no urgency for Williamsburg.
They do have 2 timeouts, but personally, I think that they should be going a little quicker here just so that they don't get in the position where they're fighting the clock.
Under a minute now. Legion on the carry. Met there by Swanson, and there will be the timeout called. And now just 50 seconds remaining. You know, part of it, too, is, you know, if you're Coach Blythe for Williamsburg, I would guess part of the calculus, you know, is trying to limit the amount of time that Winterset would get if they're able to touch the ball again as well. But, you know, this isn't a position where it's a gimme field goal by any means. At the 25-yard line, you're staring down the barrel of a 32-yard field goal. Again, the long for Keegan Kendall's 35. Just 1 for 2 on the season, and he missed his lone field goal attempt last week against Nevada while going 2 for 3 on PATs.
Yeah, I would say this is likely 4-down territory, even with only 50 seconds left on the clock. And I mean, Williamsburg is in a tough spot. You've only got 1 timeout left. You run the ball here, you pick it up, you're going to have to go quick. So likely in this timeout, they've got a play called, if they pick up this first down, probably a pass play. So that's why this timeout is a pretty big advantage for Williamsburg.
At the 25-yard line of Winterset, it's going to be 3rd down and 3. 1 timeout now for the Raiders. 50 seconds remain. It does feel like it would be 4-down territory. They're going to give it off to their back. Sullivan up the middle. I don't think he got enough.
It's just short.
And it looks like a timeout may be called in response.
Maybe for a measurement. Another measurement.
Second measurement of this drive. Be the second consecutive one of the last 2 set of downs. The initial spot was short. And will be short once again. So 4th and inches for a second consecutive set of downs.
Yeah, but I mean, now for Williamsburg, you've only got 35 seconds left, so you're really fighting the clock here if you do pick up this 4th down, and that kind of goes back to earlier in this drive when they were just going, they were taking their sweet time to run the ball at like the 45-yard line after that big pass play.
30 seconds remain. They do a toss to Sullivan. It's going to be a dash to the line to gain. He gets it. Is he tackled in bounds? No, he is not. Out of bounds. No. It looks like it. Okay, the clock will keep going. Looks like initially it wasn't, and then it was, then it wasn't, then it was. And now a timeout called by Williamsburg, and I think they're upset with the clock.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't do that as a referee to change it. I mean, that impacts their decision to call a timeout so much, as if they would have known that the clock was running. They definitely would have called a timeout right after that play was drawn dead. So, I mean, you just can't do that right there if you're a referee.
Check your pockets and make sure you didn't leave your debit card down there.
A conversation with Coach Blythe and the referees. Again, likely about the clock. Again, it looked like, I mean, we can't really tell from our vantage point if he got out or not, but initially, you know, if you put your hands in the air, that is a signal for he did get out of bounds. And that was the initial call from the referee, and then shortly after that turned into, you know, doing, can't really describe it that well, but did the signal that the clock should run, and then he went back to the signal for it to stop and back to run. So he changed it twice, and they did get a little bit more clock. 16 seconds, they still are holding on the timeout. It's running. Ackerman looking to throw, scanning for someone, and he's just going to get out of bounds past the 10-yard line, but now just 7 seconds left. So you've got 1 timeout, and, you know, it's kind of weird. I don't know why you don't use that if you're Williamsburg in that situation. You probably weren't planning for the play to last 11 seconds there on first down, but you know, that timeout basically is going to be useless unless you want to run the ball to set up a field goal. Otherwise, you're going to have one shot to the end zone.
Yeah, I would say the reason you'd keep the timeout is because on that last play, the runner was able to get out of bounds. If he didn't, you'd need the timeout.
Ackerman scanning. He's got 3 seconds, 2 seconds, flings one, and the clock is going to run out, and just poor clock management at the end of the half by Williamsburg. And just not enough recognition there from Ackerman of how much time he had, and he floated it too high. If he just threw a dart out of play, they can get a field goal attempt, but they get nothing. And we'll head to half with a score of 8-0 in favor of Winterset.
At Winterset schools, we believe in capturing kids' hearts. We are building meaningful relationships.
This may be the worst podcast I've ever seen in my life.
Looking for a taste of paradise right here in Winterset, Iowa? Come chill at Tiki Treats Iowa, your local spot for Hawaiian-themed treats. Dive into creamy Dole soft serve, refresh with our tropical snow, sip on fresh squeezed lemonade, and snack on warm buttery pretzel bites. It's a tropical getaway, no plane ticket required. Swing by Tiki Treats Iowa today and treat yourself to a mini vacation in every bite.
AgriLand FS is a financially strong and dependable cooperative rooted in more than 90 years of experience with our eye on tomorrow. With 28 locations across southern Iowa and northwest Missouri, and from the field to your home and all points in between, you can trust AgriLand to be there when and where you need them. Call 515-462-5353 to learn more. AgriLand FS.
Swanson Masonry specializes in foundation replacement throughout central Iowa. If your foundation is damaged, their experienced team can safely and efficiently remove your existing foundation and construct a new one. While foundation replacement can be an extensive undertaking, Swanson Masonry has the skills necessary to get the job done right. Let them put their expertise to work for you. Give them a call at 515-210-3463.
Is your puppy in need of a little TLC? Bring them down to Suds and Pups for a complete spa treatment in the state-of-the-art pet wash, located next to Straight Shots Golf Simulator at 215 North 1st Avenue in Winterset. And don't forget, attached to the dog wash is Winterset's newest laundromat, open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Stop by today.
Remember when retirement meant just stopping work and slowing down? Well, nowadays it's about so much more. Today's retirees are embracing newfound freedom and exploring new interests. Edward Jones Financial Advisors are here to help you identify your priorities and goals and create a plan to achieve them. Call Whitney Messer-Smith at 515-468-6200 to schedule an appointment today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
The Sports Page Grill at 224 East Highway 92 in Winterset is the place to meet your friends before or after that big event. With a great menu, you'll find something you love. The Sports Page Grill can host or cater any special events you might have. Just call 515-462-4673. The Sports Page Grill. We'll see you there, and don't forget the Sports Page is the home of Husky Talk Live.
We're really excited to announce the addition of our tow truck. In addition to our rental cars, this is going to give us a unique ability to serve you better. We're going to have the ability to take the phone call from you stranded on the side of the highway after a deer hit or a collision, with the potential to load a rental car up on the back of our truck, deliver it to you on the side of the highway, get you back on your way to work or to home, load your accident vehicle up, bring it back to the shop where we can handle your claim process from there.
Once upon a time in Verona, two star-crossed hearts met, and the world held its breath. In the midst of celebration, two souls find each other. Their hearts speak louder than the crowd, and love takes its very first breath.
Pizza Ranch in Winterset promises you a great experience. You'll find a buffet full of your favorite pizzas, the country's best chicken, or just come for dessert. They have party rooms available for your next family gathering or fundraising event. Craving a night in? Pizza Ranch delivers. Order online or call. Open Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. The Pizza Ranch at 1009 John Wayne Drive.
Montross Pharmacy has been offering fast, friendly, and professional service with familiar local faces you can trust since 1921. Locally owned and operated. At Montross, you get quick, reliable answers to your prescription and over-the-counter medication questions. They also have the healthcare supplies you need, as well as a gift shop and soda fountain. Conveniently located on the west side of the historic Winterset Square. Open Monday through Saturday.
At Madison County Healthcare System, you're not just another patient. You're part of our family. Our dedicated team of familiar faces is here to provide personalized care throughout your treatment journey. From family medicine to emergency care and more, we offer expert care close to home. Trust the faces you know for the care you need. Madison County Healthcare System, where every patient is family.
Jones Creek Apparel offers graphics and logo design, screen printing, embroidery, direct-to-film, and promotional products. Proud supporters of Winterset Athletics. They are happy to work with any organization or individual, regardless of the order size. Open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 9 a.m. to noon. Give them a call at 515-462-4132 or visit their website, jonescreekapparel.com. Jones Creek Apparel.
Integrity Financial Group is a financial services partnership with offices in central Iowa. Here you'll find expertise in insurance, accounting, and investments all under one roof. Their commitment is to help you make sound financial decisions and protect what matters today and into the future. CPA Ben Applegate, insurance agent Eric Johnson, and investment broker Jason Claymeyer are there to help you.
The Husky Booster Club's goal is to broaden the involvement and enrichment of students, student families, the school, and the community through its support for junior high and high school-related activities. Money raised by the Husky Booster Club directly benefits all high school and junior high athletic and fine art programs. The Husky Booster Club has provided over $40,000 in funding over the last 3 years. To become a Husky Booster Club member, go to huskyboosterclub.org.
When you go home, you'll feel good about what you did, and you're doing it for the kids. If they don't have us, they don't have these games.
AgriLand FS is a financially strong and dependable cooperative rooted in more than 90 years of experience with our eye on tomorrow. With 28 locations across southern Iowa and northwest Missouri, and from the field to your home and all points in between, you can trust AgriLand to be there when and where you need them. Call 515-462-5353 to learn more. AgriLand FS, where loyalty and integrity still means something.
Remember when retirement meant just stopping work and slowing down? Well, nowadays it's about so much more. Today's retirees are embracing newfound freedom and exploring new interests. Edward Jones Financial Advisors are here to help you identify your priorities and goals and create a plan to achieve them. Call Whitney Messer-Smith at 515-468-6200 to schedule an appointment today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Frank, when you think Fairway, you think fresh. Is that the winning culture you've tried to create?
Penelope Pineapple, what an unbelievable produce performance. How does your team stay so fresh?
Sunkissed Orange. Is it true Fairway has offered the freshest produce in town since 1938?
What can we say? Our produce is so fresh, we're speechless.
8-0 your score after one half of football here tonight between Williamsburg and Winterset. And, Jack, the first thing we have to talk about is how that first half ended. So just to kind of give you some context, we're going to go over the final 4 drives of the first half before we get to the final one, which is the big talking point. So Winterset scores their touchdown, their lone score of the game here tonight. Williamsburg looked like they're going to have an answer on the very next drive. They had a kickoff return that got them down to the 39-yard line of the Huskies. Weegen had a 36-yard run, and then Winterset ended up getting a tackle for loss, an incompletion forced, and then a botched snap led to a sack and eventually a turnover on downs. Then Winterset goes 12 plays. Looks like they were going to march in for another score, take a 2-score lead. They had gone 72 yards, but then Carson Cook fumbled on the handoff under shotgun. Williamsburg got it back at their own 12-yard line with about 5:09 exactly to go. They have a 13-play drive. They go 78 yards, but the thing that is really crazy about this all, they had the ball spotted at the Winterset 44-yard line with 4 minutes and 13 seconds remaining and 2 timeouts, and they get no points.
Yeah, just terrible execution at the end there by Williamsburg, as whether it was all the way leading up to the last play or the last play itself, you have 7 seconds left and 1 timeout. You can run whatever you want and then go kick a field goal. I mean, you've got time for longer developing routes in a way in the red zone. Or you could have just thrown a fade ball. If you don't get it, you kick the field goal. Instead, they do about the one thing that you can't do, and they took forever to get this ball thrown out of bounds. And even when it did, it was a long, just high, like a high-flying ball to the very back of the end zone where the receiver really didn't have a chance. And they ran out of time. I mean, that's just inexcusable from Williamsburg. That gives all the momentum to Winterset, and they're getting the ball back to start the second half.
Yeah, and again, 2 timeouts, and Williamsburg ultimately only used 1. And there was, I can't blame them. There was a weird play near the end of that drive where initially the call was the running back Sullivan had gotten out of bounds, and it was changed to he wasn't, then he was out of bounds, and he wasn't. Led to an issue with the clock, and Williamsburg didn't call a timeout. But they started the clock with around 18 seconds. Williamsburg chose not to take a timeout. And so they got the snap off at about 15 seconds remaining, and then Ackerman was scanning for a while. It took off 8 seconds before eventually picking up 5 yards. And then again, the next thing that followed, 7 seconds left, and they used all of the clock as Ackerman just took too much time on 2 consecutive plays and really burned about 15 seconds to only get 5 yards and not really give his guys a chance. But it was weird. It felt like when that whole debacle happened, if you're Williamsburg, just burn it. You would have had about 20 seconds left, would have been at the 15-yard line of Winterset. And I know you don't have anything if, you're tackled in bounds, but you can just say, hey, go to the end zone, because at that point, points were the most important thing. And I know field goals are never a given here at the high school level, but you do have a kicker who had a high of 35 yards on the season. So weird end to the half. Both teams probably felt like they left points on the board, but nonetheless, it's an 8-0 ball game. Return here is taken up just past the 25-yard line, and the Huskies looks like they'll start at about the either 27-yard line, 28-yard line, likely the 27 here to begin this second half.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if Winterset tries to pass the ball more, or if they just stick with their run-heavy approach. And I don't think either one would be a wrong decision, because I think you do kind of need to pass the ball a little bit more. But with the way they've ran the ball, I don't think that you need to go to that right away.
The last time they had the ball in that first half, they had an incredible drive, 12 plays, 72 yards. They just could not finish. But you do have a pass there on first down to the tight end, McDonald, who gets a first down on the first play of this second half.
Yeah, good job right there by Carson Cook, keeping that play alive. It was kind of congested in the backfield. He was able to roll out, find McDonald, who's been a pretty good safety valve for Carson Cook this year.
17-yard completion there to begin this second half.
Looks like Bellamy at quarterback now.
Just the 3rd completion of the night here for Cook. It's given off to Porter. We've got a flag thrown. It's a tackle for loss but we'll wait to see what the flag is. Looks like they're signaling something to ask Williamsburg, so it does seem like this is on Winterset. The question is, do you want to accept or decline? Again, it was a tackle for loss. But imagine you decline if you're Williamsburg. We'll see what happens.
Personal foul, hands to the face, number 56 of the offense, 15-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Well, you're certainly not going to decline a 15-yard penalty, as hands to the face is what is called, and that really pushes Winterset back into a hole. They're backed up now to their 29-yard line. So 2 yards further than their original line of scrimmage to start off this drive after a 17-yard completion, and it is now 1st and 25 for the Huskies.
Now it's Bellamy at quarterback.
Bellamy makes a cut. He gets a nice gain here on first down, very close to that initial line to gain. He's going to get 15 yards on first down, and that's, I think if you're Coach Sweeney, you're going to take that 2nd and 10 when you're in 1st and 25. That's a huge win for the Huskies.
Yeah, and I'm curious if as this game goes on, they continue to use Jace Bellamy at quarterback more. We know that he can throw the ball. He's their backup quarterback. So with how well he's ran the ball to Wildcat, I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Sweeney elects to use him more at quarterback.
2nd and 10, delay there. It's a play action. Cook, tough throw. McDonald almost made an incredible catch. And Cook drifting to his left, throwing across his body. A tough throw to make, and McDonald almost a near incredible play on the back end of it.
Yeah, like you said, that was a tough play for Carson Cook to make, as Winterset was on the opposite hash. So they ran that bootleg kind of the opposite to his non-throwing side, so they had more room to work with. He did a good job of setting his feet, but that's a tough throw to make.
3rd and 10, Cook floats one downfield, and it is caught. No, actually, it's poked out late. It was in the hands of Cooper Johnston, trying to secure it on the sideline. It was poked out at the last minute.
It's a really good ball right there from Carson Cook. Cooper Johnston's just not able to hold on.
Again, he had it there. He was bringing it down into his chest when it was punched out by Sullivan. So a nice job recovering after losing on the corner route. Winterset throws the ball 3 times on that drive, and they punt it after 4 plays. Takes a bounce, eventually fielded, and getting north-south there is Bamrick, picking up a couple on the punt return. Send up Williamsburg for their first possession here of the second half.
I'm curious if Williamsburg decides to go back to Wildcat or just keep their normal quarterback out there. As we saw, I mean, they had a pretty good drive going there at the end of the half, but they started the game off with Wildcat, and then they kind of just went back to normal offense. So I would assume that they would use normal offense, but it appears that their quarterback's on the sideline right now. I don't know if he's getting a play or if he's just going to be on the sideline for this first play of their drive.
And obviously, some tough moments for Ackerman on that final drive, but it did feel like he was getting into a rhythm. He was making some good runs, especially, or I should say, making some good throws, and especially on the run. So, if you run the Wildcat every now and then, I think that works, but they've been very effective with him here tonight. Drive will start at the 33-yard line for the Raiders. Pop pass to the tight end. Scanning there is Weiskopf, and drop down. Maybe a gain of 1.
Good job of setting the edge there from Winterset. A lot of times with those pop passes, the ball carrier is looking to get as far outside as possible as they can, but Winterset did a good job of setting the edge there and not giving him a lane to run.
They do give Weiskopf a gain of 1. Looks like the communication in terms of play calls, Ackerman runs back to the sideline to get the call before passing that along to the rest of the huddle. 4 left on the play clock. They snap it with 3. Pressure up the middle. Ackerman to the sideline, and he's able to pick up a few. On second down, it will be 3rd and long coming up.
To me, Ackerman doesn't really know when to give up on the pass and just run the ball when he's outside the pocket. It looks like he's just trying to look downfield all the way to the last possible second and then step out of bounds. I think if he got outside the pocket and looked to run the ball more, normally it's the other way. You have to get your quarterback to look to throw the ball downfield and outside the pocket, but I think that he would benefit from just running the ball.
3rd down and 8, a gain of 1 for Weiskopf on the pop pass, and then 1 from Ackerman on the scramble. Instantly rolls out to his left, looking to the sideline, swings one, and Gurlwell knocks that one down, incomplete, and it's going to be a 3 and out.
That receiver was just not even close to being open. I don't know why Ackerman decided to throw that ball, as he got lucky that it wasn't an interception taken all the way back to the other side. But a good play right there from Judah Gurlwell to just knock it down and force a Williamsburg punt.
Just 2 yards for the Raiders there on that drive. It's going to be their 3rd punt of the night for Weiskopf. 47 yards per punt on the season. That one booms high in the air. Hop bounces back. Bannon gets away from it. Week just has to look at it as it rolls back to the 26-yard line. So a great punt there from Weiskopf. Not many times do you see a big change in field position, but getting Winterset back to their own 26 is very big at the high school level.
Yeah, like you said, averaging 47 yards a punt is extremely good.
Yeah.
That's probably that's pretty good in the NFL. That's about average that you're looking for. So if you're doing that in high school, obviously with worse returners that don't exactly know what they're doing back there, but that's a pretty big weapon for Williamsburg.
Yeah. 26-yard line is where the Huskies will start here. They drop back once again, swing it out to Swanson. Breaks 1 tackle, makes a move, and gets up to the 35.
Yeah, it's the second time tonight we've seen just a short route, and the play being designed for Wyatt Swanson is that's the first read, they go right to him. And that's what you need to see more out of this passing game, is just kind of those short, easy plays for Carson Cook to make.
Yeah, we did see a change in what Winterset wanted to do offensively on that last drive. 3 passing attempts for Cook, just 1 run. It was from Bellamy out of the Wildcat. There's a true run to Porter. And he does get 2 yards, and that will be good for a 1st down.
Yeah, just a short little run out of Wishbone there to move the sticks and just keep this drive going. I will say the running out of Wishbone hasn't worked as effectively as going out of Wildcat with Bellamy and Swanson. I'm curious if they try more of that, because Bellamy and Swanson can both give you an aspect of throwing the ball out of Wildcat. We saw it a few weeks ago with Swanson, and obviously we've seen it with Jace Bellamy earlier this year too.
Cook keeps it himself. Great read. Gets some contact at the 45 and picks up a couple more after that. Great read from Cook, who brings it up to the 48-yard line, and he'll pick up a 1st down.
Good read right there from Carson Cook, and just more creative ways of running the ball that Winterset has used tonight. So right there, read option. Cook made the right read. He was able to pick up a 1st down, and just different types of running the ball, not just going straight at a Wishbone and handing it off to Ben Porter.
Winterset might be getting to that balanced attack here on this drive. There's Porter, nice cut, and he picks up a solid gain on 1st down. And you go just to the play distribution on the last 2 drives. On the drive that ended in a fumble, Winterset picked up 72 yards. They had 9 runs, 2 passes. 1 was incomplete, 1 was completed to Swanson. And then on the last drive, it was 3 pass attempts. 1 for 3 was Cook on that drive, had that 17-yard gain to McDonald, and then the 1 carry was Jace Bellamy as the quarterback at a Wildcat. But now they've had 3 consecutive runs after the pass to Swanson on first down. Bellamy, trick play downfield, and it's caught by Wyatt Swanson.
Oh, man, what a throw from Jace Bellamy as they got him the ball in a little orbit motion behind Carson Cook. And, I mean, he looked like he had a lane to run if he wanted to, but he put everything he had in the zone. Just a perfect ball for Wyatt Swanson, a great catch by him, and he was really close to shaking that tackle off and getting into the end zone.
You could not have handed that ball off any better if you were Jace Bellamy. Straight into the bucket. It's a 41-yard completion to Wyatt Swanson, and the Huskies are in business. They give it off to Rivera to the end zone, and the Huskies are going to go up by 2 scores.
Yeah, just simple run to Nathan Rivera there out of Wishbone. He's kind of giving the rest of the running backs a break, and just a great sign for Winterset's offense as they've been able to marry big explosive plays with just a consistent running game here tonight.
It's Nathan Rivera from 5 yards out for the touchdown. And Winterset goes 74 yards. PAT on its way, and it splits the uprights, and the Huskies go up 15 here in the third.
Yeah, going back to that big pass play, I've talked about it all night long, is how Jace Bellamy and Wyatt Swanson can both be used to throw the ball, and right there it worked perfectly as you use Swanson as a receiver and Jace Bellamy as the one who threw it to him. And I mean, that's just the element of this offense that Winterset hasn't really had over the past like 2 or 3 years, and Coach Sweeney has done a great job tonight of utilizing all the different ways that they can use Wyatt Swanson, Carson Cook, Jace Bellamy, and Ben Porter.
Yeah, you look at, Nathan Rivera, he's kind of been the forgotten back, but he's been a productive one. 115 yards on the season, just 20 carries, but that's a little under 6 yards a carry, so that's very efficient for him. He's had 2 touchdowns. He's coming off a 4-carry, 50-yard game last week with a touchdown, so now consecutive weeks with scores for Rivera, but, he just gets stuck behind a lot of great options. Porter, obviously the lead back, 600 yards coming into it tonight. Bellamy with 200, Swanson with 100. So a lot of great options for the Huskies to work with. Bamrick on the return. Huskies having trouble getting him down. It's another great return from Albert Bamrick, the junior. Getting entered tonight with 81 yards as a kick returner, and he's had a couple of big ones tonight. He's going to set up the Raider offense. Looks to be the 36-yard line of the Huskies, and that's where it will be. Not necessarily do-or-die territory for Williamsburg, but with the way the Huskies have looked offensively over the past couple drives, feel like a spot where you've got to score. If you are the Raiders, Weegan, a big run there out of the gates, was trying to tiptoe down the sideline and stepped out after a near first down. We'll see if they give it to him or not. They will.
It's a really nice job by Weegan there, as it looked like he was going to get tackled for a 2 or 3 yard loss, but he was able to cut the ball up the sideline. And if he would have been able to tiptoe on the sideline, he might have been gone.
10-yard pickup there on first down for Weegan, up to the Husky 46. Roll out for Ackerman. Floats one high, and that is definitely pass interference. It draws a couple of flags. Bailey trying to work back to the ball, and Hurst just pulled him down by his jersey near the shoulder pad.
Yeah, we'll say Ackerman does not throw a pretty deep ball, but it did get the job done there, as it was a little underthrown, which, as you see in football all across levels, an underthrown pass leads to pass interference. A lot of the time right there, Cale Hirsch got bit by it.
Yeah, a lot of times, an underthrown ball is not a good ball from a quarterback, but downfield they can be very useful in getting those PIs. They're going to move it up to the 39-yard line of Winterset. And once again, another trip into opposing territory for the Raiders. Still no scores yet today. Patience from Weegan and taken down. Nice tackle. I believe that was Cloak. Or was that Cloak?
Yeah, Weegan's a very odd style of a running back, as he uses his speed even though he's a bigger back. And he definitely, like you said, he uses patience, but a good job there by, like you said, Zach Cloak to blow that play up, and now you've got him in a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Weegan is a big back too, 6'3", 200, primarily used as their nose tackle defensively. Again, almost 20 tackles on the season coming into tonight. Gets the handoff there, working downfield, and a powerful runner. Looks like he's going to pick up another first down.
I mean, they're just feeding Weegan right here. It's kind of funny. He's got a cast on his right hand. They're
Yeah.
still trusting him to handle the ball. So, I mean, you can just see the trust that they have in Weegan, and he's been playing really good tonight.
3 carries for 20 yards on this drive for Grady Weegan. And this is just where, if you're Williamsburg, you've got to find a way to finish a drive and punch it in. Swanson on the blitz. They had a perfect play designed for it with a screen pass, but tackled immediately. Jace Bellamy in open space.
Yeah, like you said, Williamsburg had a perfect play designed for that blitz coming from Wyatt Swanson. But just a great job by Jace Bellamy, and that play just wasn't executed very well. If that pass is thrown more upfield, the receiver could have had a better job of maybe getting positive yards there, but it's a great job by Jace Bellamy to blow that up.
Yeah, no gain there on first down. Completion to J.R. Buck, just his 4th catch of the season. So 2nd and long, wouldn't be surprised if it's another Weegan carry. Fumble on the snap. Weegan able to pick it up. There's a flag. Banning trying to bring him down. It takes 4 Huskies to eventually get Weegan to the ground. And Grady Weegan is upset about something that happened on the tackle, and his teammates trying to pull him back from talking to the ref.
I would say Williamsburg is kind of in 4-down territory here. Down by 15, a field goal doesn't do you a whole lot. A punt obviously isn't going to do you a whole lot. If they pick up any yards here, I would be surprised if they don't go for it on 4th down. So, I mean, it opens up their playbook more to a run as opposed to other 3rd and longs.
Ackerman drops back, now steps up in the pocket. He's going to take off. Porter trying to get to him. He does bring him down. He gets just past the original line of scrimmage. And Williamsburg in a good spot. Again, he gets about half of their needed yardage. Likely going to be 4th and 8 coming up. I feel like it's a spot that you're still able to convert if you are Williamsburg.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to call 4th and 9. And now the coaching staff for Williamsburg.
We're going to have to take a timeout, yeah.
Burns their first of 3, and they were upset. And now I'd imagine it's Coach Blythe who is talking with the head coach, and it is Coach Blythe. Again, Coach Blythe, should call him by his first name, Austin Blythe. If that rings a bell, that's because he played at Williamsburg. That was where his high school ball was at. Then he was a starting offensive lineman for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Was then drafted in the 7th round by the Indianapolis Colts in 2016. Got waived in 2017, but then was claimed by the Los Angeles Rams on waivers. Was a starter for multiple years in L.A. under Coach Sean McVay. Had a 1-year stint with the Kansas City Chiefs in 2021. One of the lone ones they did not win a Super Bowl, so he misses out on the ring there. And it was the year, actually, the Rams won the Super Bowl the year after he left. So tough that Coach Blythe just missed out on a Super Bowl ring. But then he ended his career with the Seattle Seahawks, where he started all 17 games that year, including a trip to the playoffs. So obviously a very good and experienced player, an offensive lineman, now gets into a coaching career back for his alma mater. And his squad is in a big spot here. 4th and 9, down by 15. Pump fake. They're going to throw up a jump ball, and that ball is a tough one. It's out of play, and it isn't caught either way. Wasn't much you could do if you were Cale Bailey. A hard ball to go up and get, and it's an incompletion force on 4th down and another turnover on downs.
Yeah, we've seen the quarterback injury really hinder Williamsburg tonight. As not much of a deep ball game tonight. I mean, they had that long one at the end of the first half, but that was more of just a jump ball, and right there, not a great pass, thrown into double coverage. I don't really like the play call there of going with a kind of a double move. I would have probably ran something more over the middle, but now Winterset gets the ball back, up 15. 3 minutes left in the third quarter, and with how Winterset's ran the ball, I think you've got to be pretty confident in their chances of having a long, sustained drive.
Yeah, it just feels like you're in that spot to really burn and eat up some of this clock now. Bellamy, Wildcat, couple nice cuts. Don't know if he had lost the ball at all. And seems to be a little banged up coming off the field. Instantly takes off his helmet. He's got a bit of a gimp. And that's arguably the most important player on this team. So we'll keep an eye on Jace Bellamy after his gain of 10 or 11 there on first. Handoff to Porter. He's met instantly. Porter gets 2 there on first.
Yeah, what you want Winterset to do on this drive is stay ahead of the sticks. You want to get them in 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6s, 3rd and shorts. You just want to get them in that spot where they can run the ball.
We give it off to Rivera. He's got a hole, and he's got a first down and more.
Yeah, Rivera tonight and really all season has shown you a really good ability to find the hole and run quickly through it, as he's got quite a bit of speed and quickness as he's able to get up pretty quick. And right there, just a really nice hole paved by the left side of the offensive line. Rivera able to pick up the first down.
Feels like Nathan Rivera will be a guy that is going to receive more touches going forward the rest of the season. He's done a fantastic job spelling Ben Porter. Obviously, his carries kind of get revoked when you do some of that Wildcat stuff with Bellamy and Swanson, but he's now a good true number 2 in terms of the running back position to Ben Porter, who takes the carry there and picks up, looks to be around 6 or 7 yards. They gave him 7 there on first. And, Jack, this is exactly what you were talking about. Winterset has ran the ball very effectively tonight. They continue to do that, and now they're eating up clock as we inch closer and closer to this fourth quarter with them up 2 scores and threatening to even get more points here. Handoff goes to Porter. They got some hands on him early, but he keeps churning those legs, and he's going to pick up a first down, a gain of 4. Good enough for the first down. Those chains will move.
Yeah, like you talked about, I mean, they ran the ball obviously amazingly last week, but that was Knoxville. This is a different test. Williamsburg, I mean, they don't have their starting quarterback, but that doesn't change their defense. And Winterset's still been able to kind of run the ball at will. They haven't faced a lot of opposition, especially when they've used White Swanson and Jace Bellamy out of Wildcat. And, I mean, going forward for the rest of the season against Sadell next week, that should be a pretty easy win, you would hope. And then DMC, the last game of the year here, I think you've got to be pretty confident in Winterset.
And it kind of feels like another one of these games where it's the swing ones, and it kind of tells you how good of a team you actually are. Bellamy had a nice crease, took advantage, and picks up another big gain on first down. He'll get 9. 10 seconds left in the corner. Winterset's going to let it run out. We're going to head to quarter number 4 with the Huskies currently shutting out the Raiders and starting to knock on the door of another score. We'll head to the 4th. The Huskies on top.
We're really excited to announce the addition of our tow truck. In addition to our rental cars, this is going to give us a unique ability to serve you better. We're going to have the ability to take the phone call from you stranded on the side of the highway after a deer hit or a collision, with the potential to load a rental car up on the back of our truck, deliver it to you on the side of the highway, get you back on your way to work or to home, load your accident vehicle up, bring it back to the shop where we can handle your claim process from there.
Swanson Masonry specializes in foundation replacement throughout central Iowa. If your foundation is damaged, their experienced team can safely and efficiently remove your existing foundation and construct a new one. While foundation replacement can be an extensive undertaking, Swanson Masonry has the skills necessary to get the job done right. Let them put their expertise to work for you. Give them a call at 515-210-3463.
Fourth quarter on its way here in Winterset, with the Huskies trying to get over 500 for the first time here on the season. It would be their first time winning back-to-back games as well. So far, they've followed the same trajectory. They lost their first, followed it up with a win, and it's been that way. Loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. Can it be win-win for the first time here this season for the Huskies in 2025, trying to get to a 2-1 record in the district? Cook gives it off to Porter, and spot looks like it's enough for a first, waiting the signal. Not moving him yet, and they will give it to him now. 2 yards for Porter. And it's another Winterset first down.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what you want to see out of Winterset. While an explosive play would be nice, you can just sit here and run this clock. Hopefully the drive ends in the end zone, but even if it doesn't, you've cut off a huge chunk of time.
Delayed handoff goes to Rivera. Picks up a few there on first down. Now, the very interesting thing, if you're Winterset, obviously a field goal would push it to a 3-score game. You know, it's going to depend on down and distance. Obviously, you know, trotting out a high school kicker, you never know what could happen. But I think to your point, even if Winterset doesn't get points on this drive, which, you know, would be disappointing, they're taking off a ton of time right now. And that's really the big thing, no matter what, regardless of points. There's Porter trying to get as much of it as he can. They may give him 2.
Yeah, no, it puts them in really the first big third down they've had on this drive. Is they might have had another one, but it was just a 3rd and short. But now this is when you have to trust Carson Cook. I would be kind of surprised if they ran it here on 3rd and 6, although it wouldn't shock me. I think actually it's going to be a Jace Bellamy Wildcat here.
Takes the direct snap, bounces off one tackle, trying to get away. He's eventually dropped. Looks like he's going to lose about a yard, maybe 2. So interesting spot if you're Winterset. They're going to get backed up to the 27, 28-yard line. Going to spot on the 28. So a loss of 2 there for Bellamy. You're looking at a 45-yard field goal, so probably too long. And Winterset will go for it here on 4th and 8.
Yeah, really not a good option, as you don't really need to go for it on 4th and 8 when you're up by 15, but a punt and a field goal really does you no good.
Guy in motion. Cook, play action boot, swings it to Swanson. He's able to grab it, fights his way forward, and he picks up a first down. Great throw from Cook, but that was all effort at the end of that by Wyatt Swanson.
Yeah, great job by Wyatt Swanson to even catch that ball. I'm not saying it was a bad throw by Cook, because it was a really good job by him to get the ball away, but a great catch by Wyatt Swanson. He's able to turn upfield and pick up that first down.
Cook got decked.
Yeah, might be looking at a concussion. It looked like he hit his head pretty hard.
Yeah, he's taken off the field and likely will be evaluated for a concussion. Massaging the back of his neck here, giving him some water. So they're going to call it a 10-yard gain there on 4th and 8. That keeps the drive going, and more importantly, the clock will continue to run. So likely will be Jace Bellamy or Wyatt Swanson. You can really do either as the quarterback option. Right now they're going to go with Swanson. Bellamy is on the field in a trips formation. There's Swanson, makes a cut, working upfield towards the end zone, and he's in.
Man, Wyatt Swanson has been so dynamic as a runner this year. I mean, you really didn't know if that was the way that he was going to be used coming into the year. He was a great wide receiver last year, and I will say on that play, there was a great block thrown by Jace Bellamy to clear that hole. And, I mean, like we've talked about all night, this running attack for Winterset has been so dynamic.
12-play drive, and this time they're able to cap off the long one with a score. PAT is true from Vallejo Montoya. It is 22-0, all Huskies. You never want to say it's over, but Winterset is in a fantastic position to take down Williamsburg here tonight.
After seeing their clock management in the first half, I don't know if I trust them to get the ball in the end zone 3 times with under 9 minutes to go. Obviously, anything can happen, but with the way the Wintersets ran the ball and with Williamsburg's offense tonight, I really think Winterset is in a great spot to win this game.
And, you know, really the most successful thing for Williamsburg tonight has been Sullivan and Weegan on the ground. And Ackerman has made a couple plays with his legs, but 9 minutes remaining, you're down 3 scores. You can't really afford to run the football anymore, so I'd be surprised if there's even a handoff on this drive from Williamsburg. They're likely going to have to come out and just go full air raid and start slinging the rock. Again, we had mentioned their starter, Cash Brown, not playing tonight, took the starting job from Ackerman early in the season, came into this game with just under 800 yards through the air, 7 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Also had 100 yards on the ground with a touchdown, and that's made a huge difference tonight in this game. And that ball is loose. I do think Williamsburg was able to fall on it in time. J.R. Buck touched it, and eventually falling on that was Bamrick, their star returner.
We've seen that kick was from Montoya, and we've seen many times this year when he's kicked the ball off, he's got a really good kick towards that sideline that Winterset loves to do to try to get the ball back. And even since they didn't get the ball there, I mean, Williamsburg has the ball at the 27, so that's still pretty good field position when they had a chance to get the ball on the kickoff.
Just 3 completions on the night here for Ackerman.
That pass was a rough one. It looked like, I mean, that's just a pretty easy screen to complete, and that throw was nowhere close. I mean, Ackerman just hasn't really been able to get anything going here tonight.
Yeah, it's in a tough spot again. They haven't asked Ackerman to throw the ball a ton. Does have 3 completions, like we noted. Williamsburg as a team with 4. There was a completion early from Sullivan. Their first drive, they did Wildcat on the very first play, did Wildcat the first play of their second drive, and they passed out of it. And that's their other one. Weegan takes a carry and goes to the sideline, and now trying to get back to his sideline, but in some pain. And you can tell he went out of bounds because he was hurting. He could have turned it up to try and pick up a few more. So we'll keep an eye on Grady Weegan. But again, a little surprising, a carry nonetheless. Could just try and get yourself into a little bit more of a manageable third down. You just don't have a ton of time to work with if you're Williamsburg, which is the troubling spot. So it's going to be 3rd and 10. Ackerman rolls out. Bamrick looked like was maybe open for a bit. Now working to the other side. Just going to put one up for grabs. Nearly intercepted. Cale Hirsch, diving effort, but just couldn't get it. Would have been his first pick of the season.
Ackerman has thrown some of the craziest balls I've seen in my life tonight, as he threw that with a guy in his face just all the way across the field to really no one. But a good job by Cale Hirsch to be in that area, and that's a really tough ball to catch. But, I mean, now they've got him in a 4th and 10. They haven't moved the ball at all on this possession.
Yeah, we kind of felt like after Winterset went up by 3 scores, specifically at 3 touchdowns, did feel like it was maybe the nail in the coffin. If that wasn't the nail, though, it could come right here if Winterset is able to get a stop on 4th down. And with 8.5 minutes to go, you can try and take off as much clock as you want, but Winterset could very likely get in the end zone once again if they get a turnover on downs here in this situation, because you just don't have enough yardage to work with to not score unless you yourself turn it over or turn it over on downs.
Yeah, it's probably, I mean, obviously Williamsburg isn't going to punt here, but even if they did, it would probably just be better if Winterset got the ball closer to the end zone. So they couldn't run as much time off, but, I mean, with the way that Ackerman has thrown the ball down the field tonight, you've got to be feeling pretty good if your winner says he's only completed 1 pass. That was past 10 yards, so.
Yeah, he threw the jump ball up to Bamrick that came down with a very impressive catch.
And he had thrown the run for maybe 10 or 15 yards, so.
Yeah, his completions tonight, going to go through it for you here. So his first one came on that drive right before the half. He hit Bailey for 11 yards on the near sideline. Then he had the big play to Bamrick for 30. And then he had a completion to Buck on the screen that was blown up right away for no gain. So 4th and 10 feels like the game here for Williamsburg. Looking for a man. It's caught, but nowhere close to the line to gain. And it will be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, I'm just kind of confused by the play call there. As I know Ackerman is your backup quarterback, but you're rolling him out to his non-dominant side and having him throw a 5-yard drag route that just gets instantly blown up by Crew Hockett. Is obviously Winterset in another position to take off some time, but like you said, they can even get an end zone here and completely put this game away.
So 4 plays, 5 yards, turnover on downs. Winterset will start it at the 32-yard line of Williamsburg, and their goal here, just continue to bleed this clock. 8:22. Rivera gets the opening carry of the drive. Nice cut to pick up a few there on first.
Some more good running from Nathan Rivera in this part of the game. This is kind of where you can get the ball to him more. He has, like we've talked about earlier tonight, he's done a really good job of running the ball when he's got the opportunity. They just have so many different playmakers, but this is a situation where you can kind of get him those touches that he's earned.
Under 8 to go here in Winterset. They are certainly barreling towards their first back-to-back wins of the season. Delayed handoff to Porter, and nice tackle in the backfield by Kirby on the tackle for loss.
Curious if Winterset decides to throw the ball at all in this drive, as if they would. This might be a spot where they do it, but I'd still be kind of surprised if they did, because you just don't really need to risk a turnover or whatever could happen when you throw the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel like you gain a lot out of it. I mean, you're going for it no matter what. And so you may as well make it 4th and a little bit more manageable. 4th and 6 is something you can still pick up as long as you don't go backwards. But got to just try and take off as much time as you can. Looks like Coach Sweeney is going to burn a timeout as that play clock was down to 2 by the time that Cook and the offense got set. So 6:51 remaining.
I will say, if they don't get this, I wouldn't be shocked by a field goal try because they're up by 20. It's 22-0 right now. If they hit a field goal, it'd be a 4-possession game. Wyatt Swanson has hit a 40-yarder this year, and you're looking. I mean, this right here is about a 45-yarder. So you would need to almost get to the line to gain, which they'd probably just go for it anyways.
Yeah, because when we saw his 40-yarder here against Carlisle, it was maybe good from 41.
Yeah,
there was a lot more on that field goal try. So, yeah, it's an interesting spot. I mean, I think it does really feel like they have the win wrapped up at this point. Again, especially with the lack of things that Williamsburg can do through the air. Maybe it's not a bad thing to try a field goal. It could be something you need down the road and you want to see how you feel about your kicking situation. Handoff to Porter, big crease. And he picks up a big gain, barreling downfield, still trucking. They can't get him down. He's inside the 10 and somehow gets up to the 6-yard line, 22 yards. The definition of a tough, gritty football player.
I mean, Ben Porter's burst on that run was absurd. It seemed like when he got the ball, he was already at max speed, and he hit the hole so hard. He just picked up 20 yards in the blink of an eye, and now Winterset is in a prime position to punch it in for another score.
Yeah, obviously, if you're Winterset, you want to get another touchdown, because why not? I think it'd be one of the situations. If you're on the 1, yeah, you're gonna go for it if it's 4th and goal. But if they don't pick up a lot, me personally, I don't mind a field goal attempt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a chip shot, but it's still something that you can use going forward if needed. Not a ton there on 1st down.
Might not be a bad thing that they get stuffed there. This clock will just continue to run.
Yeah. And then give Cade Messer a gain of 2 there on 1st and goal. Yeah, honestly, I think the dream, if you're Winterset, is you get to 4th and goal at the 1. You take off as much clock as you possibly can, and then you put the nail in the coffin with a touchdown run from a yard out. 5.5 to go. And this one definitely feels over at this point. This time it's just the clock that we're waiting to determine whether or when this result will officially be ruled in favor of the Huskies. Porter maybe gets a yard there on 2nd and goal.
Yeah, they're in a spot where it's kind of a tough decision whether you want to continue to, like, if they got a 4th and goal from the 2, do you want to try to punch this in? Do you want to just make sure you go up by 4 possessions? What I'd say is I think if you had it even right where they are, a 4th and goal from the 3, I think you might have a better chance of picking it up, going for it, than kicking the field goal.
They're going to hand it off, and with a nice burst into the end zone, that's Rivera. His 2nd score of the night, hitting the sexy Dexy in the end zone.
Yeah, Nathan Rivera, I mean, he's just addicted to touchdowns, I guess. It seems like every other touch he has is for a touchdown. And, I mean, like we've talked about all night, he's done a great job in the role that he's had this year in Winterset, just putting the finishing touches on a huge win.
Not very many times you see a big man Selly going viral, but that's happening for the star nose tackle for the New York Football Giants, Dexter Lawrence. It's become a popular one, and good to see the big man get some love, as a lot of people starting to hit that now here and at all levels of football. The Huskies go up 29-0. Got an error there, and go back up to 29. And, Jack, I mean, it's just been an incredible game for Winterset, really start to finish. The lone blemish, the fumble, where Winterset is likely scoring a touchdown on that drive, but not a lot more you can ask if you're Coach Sweeney. You're barreling towards a shutout.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's going to be an asterisk with Williamsburg's starting quarterback being out, but you still put up 29 points on a pretty good defense. Yeah, that doesn't impact the defense, and it's really interesting when you've seen that Winterset hasn't really been able to pass the ball all night long. That's not saying that Carson Cook's played bad. They just haven't needed to. We talked about coming in to the game tonight that you likely wouldn't be able to just hand the ball off and use all your different players in different ways like you did last week. But that's exactly what they've done tonight, and it's shown that their formula for winning games can work against anyone.
And the thing that will be really interesting going forward is earlier in the season we saw them really lean on Carson Cook a lot more, even though you had a veteran back in Ben Porter. And so I'll be very curious. Their running game, like you said, has been successful against two different levels of teams, which makes you feel like this is just a good running game, period. It's not determined based off of the level of competition you're playing, but it does feel like there will be a game at some point down the road where they just kind of be like, pull that rabbit out of the hat of, hey, we still got this guy named Carson Cook who is a solid quarterback, and we can still beat you through the air. That's just not what they've needed the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I will say with the running game, we've given a lot of love to all the guys running the football, but the offensive line has done a great job over the past few weeks just giving these guys holes to run through.
It's a fumble. It's out, and Winterset jumps on it. Kind of fitting for this type of game. Sullivan coughs it up. It's Swanson that fell on it. We'll see who forced it. Couldn't tell. It maybe was in the
Porter?
It may have been Porter.
It looked like he might have hit the ball, but it didn't jar it loose, and then Sullivan kind of coughed it up. But it's exactly what you want if you're Winterset, is you can just kill more clock here and kind of salt this one away.
One play and a fumble for Williamsburg, and Jack hit the nail on the head. Winterset can just continue to burn clock. They get it right back, and you know exactly what they're going to do. A handful of handoffs coming your way. Wishbone formation for the Huskies, who will start at the 41-yard line of the Raiders. Like Messer was the ball carrier. Four-yard pickup for Messer there on first down. Again, Winterset just doing what they can to get this to triple zeros and officially get that win. So this Husky team, with 2 weeks remaining in the regular season, is going to be 4-3 and 2-1 in their district. They should have a game next week that you would feel really confident about. Sadell, a team that lost to Knoxville by nearly 3 scores, 37-21, and that's a team that, Winterset just absolutely routed last week. So, you can't look too far ahead to Des Moines Christian. So maybe, next week is your firm definition of a trap game. If you're the Huskies, you've got to make sure that you are not looking down the road to Des Moines Christian. But they get past Adel with a win, which I think at this point many people would feel fine and confident circling as a win with the way Winterset has played the last couple weeks. You're going to see him here in 2 weeks with likely a 5-3 record against Des Moines Christian in the regular season finale against another district opponent, and could potentially go 5-1. So Winterset has set themselves up for a good end to this regular season and putting themselves in a spot, obviously, to be in the playoffs.
I will say, with that game against Sadell next week, with the way that Winterset plays with this running game, especially against a lower tier opponent, I'm not saying that there's no chance that they lose, but with this running game, I think it's pretty consistent week to week. And next week, even if you kind of fall flat on your face a little bit, you'll still have this running game to lean on, and I don't think they'll be able to stop it.
The other thing, obviously, we've done a lot of talking for this offense, and rightly so. They've been dominant on the ground, but, shout out this defense. You've mentioned it. They didn't have their starting quarterback in Cash Brown, but they stepped up when they needed to, and there's been times where Williamsburg was in positions to make this a game, and the defense stepped up. You really look at the drive after the first Husky touchdown where, Weegen has a 36-yard run. Swanson, great effort to push him out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Weegen was about to score, and Swanson makes a big hustle play. Porter follows it up with a tackle for loss. Incomplete pass. A botched snap makes it 4th and 20 on 4th and goal. And so if Swanson doesn't get there, you could be looking at an 8-7 game, and it's a very, very different ball game.
Yeah, I mean, they did fumble that snap on 3rd down, but Winterset had to stop them those few times to get him to that 3rd down. Like you said, that play by Wyatt Swanson, just a great job of him to hustle and not give up on a play that I think a lot of players would, and you wouldn't really fault him for that. It looked like he was just going to coast in the end zone. And Winterset, just a great job of playing complementary football tonight. Is whenever the offense needed a spark, they brought it, and a great win heading into the final 2 weeks of the season.
Coming up a little slow, Dylan Weiskopf, the star of this defense, 53 tackles on the season, 13 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, a forced fumble, a pick, and a touchdown. Had an incredible pick 6 last week that really changed momentum against Nevada and eventually resulted in a win. Winterset takes a timeout. There's 36 seconds remaining. So they can't take a knee with it being 4th down, but if they get a 1st down, this game will be over. So you got one play to ice it, giving it to Porter, Bellamy, Swanson, Rivera. Where are you going?
I'd give it to Bellamy, but my guess is here, 4th and 3, they're probably just going to give it to Rivera or Porter. Like if it was a closer game, you got 4th and 3. I think you got to go Wildcat with Bellamy. Find a way to get him the ball. Maybe with him and Swanson in the backfield, there's so many different things you can do with that.
It will be the ever-classic wishbone formation. Hard count, and Winterset may have just won on forcing an offsides from Williamsburg, and that's exactly what it will be.
5-yard penalty, 1st down.
The clock will not run, but Winterset can now end it with the knee. So nobody gets a final carry. An offsides, fitting way to end this one, as it was a tough night all around for the Williamsburg Raiders, who are going to get shut out tonight here in Winterset. Cook takes the knee, and that's going to do it. The Huskies have won back-to-back games. And your final score is 29-0. Final thoughts from you, Jack?
I would just say a complete win from Winterset. You went into this game kind of thinking it was a toss-up, even with their starting quarterback out, and the defense delivered, and this rushing attack from the offensive line to Wyatt Swanson to Ben Porter, Jace Bellamy, even Carson Cook at times. It was just utter dominance from that offensive line.
The Huskies will be back here in 2 weeks, like we mentioned, take on Sadell next week before ending the regular season here at home against Des Moines Christian. And this Husky team is setting themselves up to make a run into the playoffs, but we'll have to wait and see where they're at in a couple weeks. For now, a big shout out to all of our camera operators, production crew, my man to my left, Jack Keller. My name is Evan Wessling, signing off from Winterset, where the score is 29-0. The Huskies victorious for a 2nd consecutive week.
Valley Conference at Bondurant Farrar. On Tuesday, don't miss a chance to see our all-state vocalist perform at their preview show in the auditorium at 6 p.m. On Thursday, the JV and varsity volleyball squads will be in the road to ADM, starting at 5:30 and 7:15 p.m.
You have been watching Winterset Activities live on the Husky YouTube channel, presented by the W Digital Network, powered by AHV Productions, and sponsored by Farmers and Merchant State Bank, Winterset Dental, Whitney Messerschmitt with Edward Jones, Tiki Treats, Integrity Financial, Madison County Healthcare System, Agriland FS, the Sports Page Grill, Roush Collision and Restoration, McDonald's, Swanson Masonry, Suds and Pups, Laundry and Dog Wash, the Pizza Ranch of Winterset, Jones Creek Apparel, Montross Pharmacy and Gift Shop, Union State Bank, and the Husky Booster Club.